Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do de. Luta munulo jel moto nga andil mahalis. Hello?
Busel mo fine.
What?
Busel mo fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave acts in Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills, and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave, Busel mo fine. Wave, your money is yours.
Tuesday, the 12th of August, 2025, and on West Coast Radio, Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. I'll be talking to, he likes to describe himself as a senior citizen, at the same time, a youth man. Alhaji Mustafa Njai, I call him just Alhaji Taf. Alhaji Taf, welcome back.
Oh, thank you very much. I also call you Alhaji Peter.
Yes.
I guess you are the only Christian
Yes.
who is designated with the title of being called an Alhaji, huh?
Even Baba Lee has joined in.
Has joined now calling you Alhaji Peter.
And everybody, yes.
You know, Nene Frida once told me that she would like to go for Umrah. That's what, Nene, I'm sorry, you cannot make it for Umrah. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been, 3 months at least since last you were here?
Yeah, about 3 months.
And a lot, would have happened, during that period. What are some of those things, for you?
Well, I mean, again, thank you very much for hosting me, as a senior citizen and somebody who's really now been engaged on advocacy. I mean, your platform is one of those that I visit very often, at least 3 times in the year, for good reasons. And if you look at probably on the advocacy role, which really I've beefed up now, it takes a lot of my time, not only nationally, but at the sub-regional level, at the regional level, and now at the global level. About 3 months ago, I was co-opted and invited at the Justice, Love and Peace Conference in Dubai, where elderly citizens gathered together from the private sector, from the world of politics, and civil society, also in faith, religion. And there, even some former heads of states were there. And generally somebody's trying to pioneer, peace, and love in the world. So I participated. And there I met people like Amina Fakhira Gurib, the former Mauritius president. Oh. Then also Lech Walesa of Poland, and many, many, many more. So that was one thing that I attended. And now I am a peace maker ambassador. If you follow my series, my Monday Motivation series, I have done on it, what it means to have a peaceful world. And then, obviously, I have done a lot of conferences related to real estate. I've been in London. I've been given an accolade as an accolade on a lifetime award, by the African Achievers Awards. Then in Cotonou, Benin, also I was a guest speaker at a conference. Back home, I was the guest at the USET maiden convocation lecture, and I gave the lecture, and I was also recognized by the president as the chancellor. So quite a lot of that has been going on, and also some few things. In business, obviously, I now run 3 countries actively, Gambia, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. And currently, we are negotiating with 2 other countries. Oh. We're negotiating with them. As you know, negotiations takes quite a lot of time in these things here. So basically, in business, what we're doing now, we're running a franchise. Tough Africa Global is a franchise because people do wonder, how do you manage all this? So we get in, basically we partner with state governments. In Nigeria, in the case of Nigeria, it's states, not federal. And then other countries, we deal with the countries. So on a public-private partnership, on the move to develop 1 million affordable homes across the continent of Africa by 2063. So we are now currently negotiating with 2 countries, and
you don't want to name them.
No, we will not name them because there's an NDA at this point in time.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, we do have a non-disclosure agreement. We're negotiating, so we are not supposed to, let it out because at times it's very political. It's not for me to let it out. It is the president's, because it's so political that they come out and say, "Look, I'm going to build, so many thousands of houses in partnership with this private sector operator."
So when you negotiate with heads of state or heads of, regional states?
Yes, we get invitation. That's our first condition, that we only come to any country
that wants you.
Yes, and being invited by the president, because the political will is key. I mean, so that's a sign of having, the political will to come and operate. And then now he will delegate. So at least that, yes, he's serious. We have had invitations from others, but I mean, it happens with somebody who just says, "Look, Mr. Taff, you need to come in and do business with us." No, we don't move like that, because we have developed a brand. I mean, a brand that is 35 years old, and we are the leading affordable housing developer in the continent today. And if I say so, it's because we have been recognized at major regional bodies, like the African Union Housing Finance. We've won 2 accolades, and then same in Nigeria, and obviously here too. But also on things that I have done with the Afri-Exim Bank, they have what they call PAF Track. PAF Track is a Pan-African, inter-African trade committee from the private sector. So I have been co-opted to serve in the executive committee. It's leaders of the private sector who are engaged in policy formulation together with public sector. So these are all the things I've been running around, and above all, just having fun.
Well, the last time you spoke, you said the Gambia constituted about what? Only 15% of your activities in terms of business. Otherwise, it's mainly Nigeria and Sierra Leone and all these other countries. The issue of GAITAF, where do we stand on it today?
Oh, GAITAF, yeah, well, there's been developments. I mean, I recently engaged government at a very high level and basically telling them that, look, the thing is, as we say in Wolof, takadaganna, tasdaganna. If there's a reason for divorce, there should be a divorce. But we should not, have a stalemate, which we have had over the past 8 years. So I approach government at a very high level that, look, no animosities. I mean, for me, I don't believe in going to court. I think there's been a sit and wait to see who's going to make the first move. So time is against us, age-wise, and also other things to do. So I've engaged them that, look, I would like us to settle amicably, because I've pumped in a lot of money in there. And the place, as you know, nothing has been happening. I mean, it's a project that was supposed to take about 10 years. 8 years is gone and nothing has happened. And I was stopped by government. So I had the green light that my lawyers will now write, to government. So when that happens, there are clauses on disputes. If there's a dispute, there's a way of doing it. But I don't want to be seen as taking the government to court, because I don't believe in going to court. One thing, Peter, for 35 years that I have been business, I have never taken anybody to court. And we have had serious defaults, not only here, but even in Nigeria. I always believe in negotiation because, lawyers don't like this, but I always tell them that, look, I am not here to fill your pockets because you like going to court, litigation. I don't do litigations. I would rather just settle and, and walk away with whatever I have. But fairly too. I believe in fair treatment. So that's where we are. So my lawyers are yet to write because it just happened recently. So when they write, I mean, I'll pick up the pieces and move on.
Okay. Yeah. And what's happening to Taft Twins?
Well, tough twins, actually, funnily enough, quite a number of people do ask, I mean, what's happening? This country, people think, something is wrong, that's why, and, but Peter, in general, business is driven by demand. When we started Tough Twins, not many of these edifices were going up. And it was at a time when, to me, the economy was doing well in terms of real estate and commercial real estate. What we did first was to develop the Madiba Mall, and it was packed jam. But today, the Madiba Mall is half empty. And this is obvious because the global economy has shrunk. After 2020, what happened? I mean, there was a lot of funds going around after COVID. There were a lot of COVID funds. So remittances were coming in, huge demand. But I think now we've seen a slump for one reason or the other. Wars everywhere, Ukraine, the Middle East war, and so on. So we decided to slow down because we haven't seen the demand now. Initially, there was a bank that was interested in the whole building, but they also dragged their feet for their own reason. So what we're doing now, we have commitment on the ground floor, which we are going to finish, and then we'll now finish up the face. If you drive through there, you will see it. We'll do the external, and then it will be finished based on demand. But maybe I should use your medium here. I mean, I even offered it. I said, look, if anybody wants to buy the whole building, please come and buy. We are in real estate and we sell. And that is the reason we are slowly finishing it up, making sure that it doesn't strangle us, financially.
That's a good idea. And I don't know whether it's an old video I watched, recently of you doing marketing of Didi at Tough City. Is that a new thing, or it's an old video?
No, it's a new video. I mean, okay. I am actively marketing because, I'm the brand ambassador. So I was on Sunday evening. Can you imagine? Sunday evening, I was there and, with my bagasse, marketing. Yeah. Because I wanted to just show my followers what is happening at Tough City. That it's all lit up. People are living there and what it feels living there at night. So actually, Didi is the second estate. We have Benna as the first, Didi as the second. The third is Saba. Both Didi and Benna are all sold out, built up. Oh, wow. Saba, we are also building units. They are finished. The first phase is all sold and being built. We only have some of the services to fix, which are the roads. But we're now doing Baki. Baki estate. Baki is Jola for number 4. And there, what we are doing is we're selling sites and services. But it's finished, fenced plots with services so that people can buy and build on their own terms. They have their own time, although, there are laws on what you build. But if you want some comment that houses are small, but then you have a choice. You can buy your plot and build your big house. That's what we are doing in Baki. Okay. We also have some others, a streamline in Sifo, some that we don't put all the services. And reason being that we're just trying to make our units as affordable as possible. And we have learned that those ones that we have done, that's the C4 stream side and the road side, are the most popular now because they're the most affordable. So that's where we are.
What range of pricing are you looking at?
Me, I'm not very good in prices, but I would think that there are less than $300,000 is. That's the range. Less than 300,000.
Less than 300,000?
Yes.
You'll be having a rush on land after this program.
Yeah, some actually got sold out, like Pirang, Faraba, got sold out in 24 hours when we launched it.
Yeah, because one thing if you buy from Tough, you won't be dragged to court the next
minute. Never, ever.
And ever. Everybody will tell you that most of the cases in the courts now are land-related.
We are in the courts because we've bought land, major land from communities that have now dragged us to court. Oh. Major land, major parcels of land. That is true.
You've given your money out?
Yes, we've given part of our money out.
You can't do anything
after doing
on that
our
land.
due diligence through our lawyers and everything, somebody comes from there, claims the land, and the next thing you land in court and it's there forever. Some are as long as maybe 5-6 years just dragging in the court, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So there you go then, an opportunity to own land with Tough. Let's move on. And, about your social media, engagement. I mean, if we were just to do, a long shot of what's happening in the studio, somebody will look at all these gadgets and things.
Yeah.
Coffee Time League is advanced. I mean, 90% of the stuff that they would see actually belongs to TAF.
Yeah, okay. I realized. I'm not sure whether I told you before. I realized how powerful social media is, how it can be impactful positively. So obviously, because I am interested in selling to a global audience,
Sure.
Gambians are everywhere. Same thing, Sierra Leoneans are everywhere, same as Nigerians. So I realized how powerful social media is. So one, I invested in it, getting the basic equipment to be able to just function. But also, I went on a training personally. So I went to Dubai and studied, social media marketing. If you look at my social media pages, and in this country, we are amongst the biggest. I am amongst the biggest being followed. And my followers, the majority of my followers are not living in the country anymore. They are non-Gambians for obvious reasons, because I operate in countries that the populations are huge. And then I have also taken up the issue of advocacy and also motivation. As you know, I do my Monday motivations and I spread them around. So I've just realized how powerful social media is, how it can be impactful, and I'm using it to the best of my ability. But above all, Peter, I enjoy it. I enjoy, just voicing out, because I have 50 years of experience. I've worked for 50 good years. In the next 18 months, I will be 70 years old. I think I have quite a lot of knowledge that I need to share. And I am just using my platforms for it.
So you're using social media positively. Has social media been used negatively against you?
Oh yes, all the time, all the time. The principle,
social media can be the most vicious place.
Yes. Because look, it's social. So
I know somebody who calls it social.
Yes. So, but the thing is, then you need to have the courage. You need to have the appetite to be able to listen to others. I mean, and I have been influenced also by people outside my audience, where I think in doing something and then somebody comments and says no XYZ, but then I take that into account. So again, that's in leadership. If you are a leader, you should be open to criticism. Some are negative, but that's it. They have a right to. I mean, we will say so many things, but what I never do on my social media posts is to respond. Because they have their opinion. They have a right to their opinion. So I take the medium. I am the one who generates the content, and I am doing it for a purpose. Somebody else doesn't understand it, but good luck to him or to her. So yes, all the time I get so many things, but I read it. I read every comment on my pages. I have time for it. Where it's necessary to respond, I respond. Where they complain, and it's a positive complaint, especially for services, I get onto my staff to address it. And that's what it takes to lead. Understanding that, look, even the prophets that we follow, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Jesus Christ, people have criticized them worse than the way they're criticizing us now. So who are we not to be criticized? So as a leader in the private sector, I listen and I act based on the positive content that comes out.
All right. And of course, being there, you would meet with fellow influencers and whatever. And there was this, is it Nigerian social media guy?
Ghanaian, Wodemaya. But again, the power of social media. Wodemaya went to Lesotho, and then promoted Lesotho. I never knew that Lesotho is the highest in terms of altitude country in the world.
In the world?
Yes. Do you know?
I didn't until you told me just now.
Yeah, it's the highest country in terms of altitude. And it snows like you are in Europe. So he just promoted Lesotho so much that the Prime Minister met him and he was honored. So this is the power of social media. They realize that, look, these guys, they have millions who watch them from their phones. So rather than probably paying the international media houses, now people are realizing that, look, getting influencers coming in, and promoting your country makes more sense and much more affordable than using the international media houses.
Yeah, much more affordable.
Much more affordable. Yeah, much more affordable because, social media is free. So, for example, if I post now, take, for example, TikTok. I mean, I can post today, and within 24 hours, I have over 100,000 views. You know, and then you have the analysis. I mean, I analyze them. You know, where are they coming from? Where the algorithms are. And when I post, I understand this because I've studied this. So I know when to post, where to post, what are the words that we are looking for. You know, what is the missing, the content gap. What is it that people are interested in? You know, so it's a whole big game. And obviously I have people like Alpha.
Yeah. I was going to say
around me.
How big is your social media team?
Yeah, the way we are structured is, one is my own personal handles, which I handle myself. Okay, when I need some help, Alpha helps me out there because he's trained to do so. But every country has its own team. Like we have a media team in Gambia headed by Alpha. You know, cameramen, all the equipment, everything. When they post, how they post, you know, that's up to them. And then in Sierra Leone, I also have a team. In Nigeria, I have a team. So at times, you know, we combine all the three when it's necessary.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, we keep making reference to Alpha. Alpha is in the studio, only that he's behind the camera, so you can't see him, just like Martin is. Yeah, let's talk about business in Sierra Leone. How is it going?
Sierra Leone, we are delivering our first houses by December. Over close to 200 units all done, infrastructure in place, power in place, and it's really picked up now. People have confidence in us. Before we went into Sierra Leone, I mean, there was a similar project that went wrong. So to start...
went wrong where? In Sierra Leone?
In Sierra Leone, yes, okay. In Sierra Leone. Some Nigerian guy came in there and took their money and never delivered. So when we were to start and marketing, people thought, oh, it's the same thing. But the nice thing about us is that, you know, a lot of Sierra Leoneans know about us because some of them lived in the Gambia, they know who we are. So in short, we are about to deliver our first residence, and that will be in December, in the next 6 months. Alhamdulillah, it's going well.
Fantastic. And I'm sure it's going to be a big ceremony.
Oh, yeah, as always.
With the president and all of that.
It's his baby. He initiated it.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, back in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, we've built 600 units within a year. That's our biggest project. As you know, in Nigeria, we're building 20,000 houses in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, and this makes up 70% of our business now. Nigeria is obvious; the numbers are there, and if you understand Rivers State very well, the economy, the GDP of Rivers State alone is bigger than 5 African countries, including the Gambia.
Oh, wow.
So it's a huge economy. That's where the oil wealth is. And they have a population of about 7 million, just Rivers State. So demand is high. And what we're doing in Nigeria, in Rivers State, is that we're building what we call carcasses, semi-finished houses. We don't finish the house. So it's for affordability. And Nigerians are used to this. Then they will take it up and finish it themselves. So 600 has been done, and it's still selling well. Services are in place. Power is in place. So we cannot complain.
While we are on the subject of affordable housing, the Gambia, through the minister responsible for local government and lands, Alhaji Hamad Ngany Kumbaba, I give him, his full entitlement, recently announced that government will provide affordable housing. I think about, 200,000 units? What do you make of this?
Yeah, I heard it too. I heard it and I watched him say so. And I think he went further to say that they are going to start the project in this year, by end of this year, with 10,000 units. I would say a big congratulations to him for the initiative. But it's one thing to have an initiative, but it's another thing to make it real. So people like us are watching how it will be done. It hasn't been disclosed on the details, so you can't say much. But I can only use my experience having been engaged by governments and having seen governments, said similar statements and where they ended up. So let me start with what makes up housing or business in general.
Yes.
There's a principle of economics which says which is supply and demand on anything that you do. I mean, there's the supply end and there's a demand end. And very quickly, as an expert in affordable housing in Africa, The demand side it's the problem. It's not the supply side. Meaning today, if the government wanted me to build them, 10,000 houses as an agreed price, I will do it very quickly, just like what we did with the AU villas. That's not a problem. The capacity to develop houses in Africa is not a problem. The problem is on the demand side, because you are trying to address, for example, this is for public servants, and we know their earnings, and then they don't have mortgages. So that's where the difficulty comes in. I mean, the reason why in the West people can afford to get houses or access houses is because there are affordable mortgages at very low interest rates. So if you want to buy a house, you go to a financial institution like a bank or a mortgage house, and then interest rates are very low. And then it's over, the tenure is quite long, between 20 years to 25 years. So what you pay is not much. Even if you go take it for investment, you will get returns through rentals. But in a country like the Gambia, where interest rates are, in double digits, I wonder how it will be done. Even at the international level, I mean, Shelter Afrique, for example, is the housing finance institution Pan-African. So people go there for money. But even Shelter Afrique, they don't give you anything less than 10%. So if, for example, any institution was to access funds from Shelter Afrique, it's 10, plus their margin. So it is very likely that even if they give you a mortgage of monies from Shelter Afrique, it will shoot up over 15% and more. Then let's look at the people that you are targeting. If you are targeting, and I think it was said there, public servant, like service, men and women, we know what they earn. In what they earn, if they are earning even, let's say, let's give them $10,000. In mortgages, you can only use 30% of your earnings for paying out mortgages. So $3,000 is a month. So $3,000 a month is only $36,000 a year. So how long will it take you to pay up a house? Today, if you want to build a house, I am pretty sure you cannot build a decent house for less than $2 million. So we are watching to see how it's going to happen. It happened in Senegal. The past former president of Senegal, President Macky Sall, said he was going to build 100,000 units. I don't think he even built 1,000. So it's in Nigeria also the same thing. When Buhari came in maybe 11 years ago, the late President Muhammadu Buhari, they said they were going to deliver 1 million houses every year. Oh, wow. And they never did. You see, the issue of affordable housing, Peter, has a lot of components that makes it affordable to a certain category. One, there are no affordable building materials. The same cement that you buy to build a luxury house, the same tiles, not the same tiles, the finishing can be different, but the same rods, the same stones, the basic that makes up the house are all the same. So how can you make the house cheaper? Then now to get in the Gambia, land is scarce. You have to buy land in the open market. And then infrastructure. You cannot compromise on the infrastructure, the roads that you are putting in, the water supply, the electricity, labor. So if you put all these components together, I wonder how it will be done. But we wish him well, that he delivers as he says. Who are we to say no? But I believe we have to watch and see what's going to happen by December.
He also spoke about, putting a levy on undeveloped land. I don't know whether you have an opinion on that as well. Peter, listen, I mean, at times I know that politicians will just say something off the cuff and for their own good reasons. But anything that you want to put in place, a legal law, there's a process that you follow. So somebody who bought in the open market his land has all rights to do whatever he wants, unless there is a regulation. As far as it's legal, where it is stipulated that, yes, this land, you have to develop it by this time, which normally happens with government when they allocate you land. Yeah. But generally in this country now, government don't allocate land anymore. For land that is allocated by government, you need not say that even. Probably all you need to do is just make sure you enforce the clauses in the allocation letter.
Because I remember what they would say that within 6 months you need to fence it. Then within such time you need to do this. So really the point is on the enforcement. So those who are enforcing it should just pop it up, beef up and enforce the laws as stipulated. But you cannot enforce the development or push somebody to develop his or her property if it is not legally right.
I'll tell you, on the issue of property, who had a lot of it and wasn't able to develop it all before he was forced out of this country, the former president. And of course, the Ministry of Local Government and Land set up the Local Government Commission of Inquiry, and now, of course, we have the Parliament looking into the sale of assets of Jammeh. What do you make of these two committees that are working separately, of course, but looking at the administration of land and other property in the municipalities, local government areas, and also property that belonged to the former
Jammeh.
president?
Jammeh. Well, what we saw is when Jammeh left, there was a commission, on him and his close collaborators, Jammeh Commission, and there was a report. When the report was delivered, there was a lot of things that happened. No need to go into details. But I think currently what we have in Parliament is to look at the way his properties were sold. And it's not only landed properties, his assets that he owned that were confiscated by government. And it is assumed, or it is said, that it wasn't transparent, that there was a lot of corruption around it. But thank God there is now a committee, a parliamentary committee, that is looking into it. So we are waiting to see the results, what comes out of it. It was an accusation, like I think these young people, Gala, really put pressure on government, on the administration of the way the sale went on. But you see, that's where we are now in this country. That there is pressure from all corners of accountability and good governance. So we're waiting to see, and I hope that the right thing will be done. Now, the one on the municipalities, for me, I would say quite a big disappointment. When you are listening to some of them, not all, and the way administration is being done, some of them, the way public funds are being used, we're again waiting, because yes, it's a commission, what happens with the recommendation and also the implementation of the recommendation. But in general, for me, Peter, I think it's a bit disappointing that after having learned and seen everything that happened with Jammeh, Jammeh being here for 22 years, all the things that he was accused of doing, and then all the commissions that we all watch, that as we move ahead, we thought that the country would have been more corruption-free. But it's a disappointment. We will have to be honest with ourselves. That this is not what was expected of us, and all of us should take responsibility. Anybody who one way or the other was involved within this process.
You mentioned Gala. What do you think of their protest?
Well, you see, again, as I said, Peter, the country is moving, in terms of democracy. I have heard the Minister of Information, Dr. Cisse, say so, and obviously taking what's his honor, not honor, but
credit?
Taking credit of it. Yes, quite true, but also he must give credit to the general populace. It takes two to tango. And that is where we are as a country. That today we are not living in the Jammeh rule, not even in the Jawara rule, because for a lot of reasons. Because we have more access to information, people are more educated, they are more liberal, they are learning from others. So I think as a country we must all give ourselves a pat at the back. Where I sit now with you, ordinarily a businessman like myself will not discuss these issues. So we saw some young people who came out there. At first, the first thing was they asked for a permit, they were denied, and we saw what happened. Now, again, credit to the law enforcement officers. They learned from it, and government, that look, Why don't we allow them to happen? And it happened peacefully. So I think it was a national achievement, something that was achieved, that look, now you can protest peacefully and we will allow it. So I recently saw that they want to go nationwide, as long as it's peaceful.
But they've been told that, by the local government, umbrella organization, that they don't have, that authority to grant their wish to, demonstrate in the different regions.
Yeah, but Peter, I'm underlining legal. Mm-hmm. As long as it is legal, they should be allowed. Otherwise, let them go to court and challenge it. That's the reality in this country today. I mean, let us avoid violence. Violence doesn't lead anywhere. And that's what we have all earned from 2016 to date. Mm-hmm. That we are all law-abiding officers. And if you feel that I am wrong, the laws are here and the courts will judge rightfully. So go there and, face them in the courts.
All right. And as you said, they were mainly, young people. Possibly signifying, the level of awakening, maybe through their interactions with other young people in other countries who have taken their grievances out onto the streets.
Yeah, look, Peter, I mean, we need to accept this. And we've seen the successes that it has made. Mm-hmm. And close to us, we are surrounded by Senegal. We saw the Pastef regime and how they came to power. It was all the power of the young people. That is the reality. So if you think that the young people cannot move any country, you are joking. Same applies to Kenya today. The Gen Z, you are seeing what they are doing in Kenya. Other countries, I mean, even in Uganda, despite the fact that, Museveni is there trying to impose himself forever. I mean, Bobby Wine. Is it Bobby Wine?
Yeah, Bobby Wine, the singer.
Bobby Wine, the singer, is there, resisting everything. So it's a reality. So what is important is just good governance. If you govern properly and transparently with accountability, you will have less of not only the young people or the masses coming up. That's the bottom line.
With no intention to drag you into politics, but do you understand then why maybe the police would be hesitant, to grant permits to young people who want to come out and demonstrate?
Well, that's the old school. The old school of no, don't allow this. And remember, we shouldn't underestimate Jammeh and what it has done in us. What Jammeh left here, that was Jammeh's style of ruling. That, look, he's a dictator, you cannot do this, X, Y, Z. And it will take time to dilute that structure. We still have in this country some things that are running, similar to what Jammeh was doing. So it will take time. And that is why in governance, you need to be very careful. And whatever you do, the results you don't see immediately. So the results of whatever the current government is doing, it will take time to see them, So therefore, yes, what we are seeing in some quarters is still, very similar to what Jammeh was doing some, years back.
Let's turn to the foundation and its various activities. What's happening on that front?
Well, as I said, advocacy is very big with me now. We haven't done TAFCON, I think last year, because we don't think it's very impactful now. TAF icon, I once proposed somebody as an icon, but had some little bit of challenges. We're still on that technical training that's ongoing. Quite a number of things are going on, but not the tough con, and also the Leadership Academy. Leadership Academy also, I dropped it.
Oh.
Yes, I dropped it. And I'm very honest here. I mean, again...
I thought that was going so well.
No, it wasn't going well. I mean, we realized, we assessed it.
He is an alumnus.
Yes, we have alumnus, but we just realized at one point that some of these young people, all they wanted was to come and get a certificate and go. I mean, we will have at the registration, the last registration we had was about 500. By the time we finished, over 100 were there. The rest disappeared. And some of them, their certificates, they haven't even collected.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah, and where it was all paid for. So, all the time, that's why some of the things, we need to be very honest with ourselves. Oh, no, I want to be inspired, or I want to be this X, Y, and Z. But when you are given an opportunity to make an effort, not everybody will step up. So we found out that it wasn't effective anymore, and we just dropped it.
Okay, so well, because these were the main pillars of the foundation, so you're now left with a tough icon?
Yeah,
And
we're doing tough icon, and as I said, advocacy, and looking at the broader space. As I said, it's no longer for me Gambia. I'm not only interested in Gambia. My influence more it's in the sub-region and more at the regional level. That's where I put my efforts. And an obvious reason, because remember, money is being generated for this. It's coming now out of the country, because 70% of our business is in Nigeria, and we have initiatives that we do there because the monies we are generated, through that community. So we are a regional company, and
so just consider the three countries as one. I mean, if the Leadership Academy, for instance, doesn't work in the Gambia, I mean, what's wrong with taking it to Sierra Leone? Maybe there the enthusiasm will be, much more than it is here in the Gambia.
We did virtual also, so we're thinking structuring in such a way that it's more virtual. So anybody who's interested can just connect virtually. Fantastic. So we don't have to physically be in one place.
Okay. And in the meantime, the foundation remains as a foundation. 1% of the business still going to support the foundation.
Peter, in the Gambia, 1% is too small. 1% is definitely small because the demand that you have on help. And for example, you said, I had to help during the convocation. There was nothing to do with the foundation, but yes, we took our money there. Health. At times people come there under pressure, and it's very genuine. So we give out money. Religion, mosque, even as churches, they come to me. Again, that will be another debate. Some of my people say, oh, haram. No. We belong to Banjulian, and I've learned this from, and I will say this from my spiritual father from Tiwawan. And you know how big, who they are. And Saint Abdul Aziz Al Amin, who is hailed to be, very good religious leader. He said once, he gave me this story, that a Christian guy was the guy who was painting the mosque. He was their painter. So when the guy's mom passed away, he took care of everything to do with the burial. He bought the coffin. He bought everything that he did. It came from his pocket. And then you know what he told him? That I'm sorry, there's one thing that I cannot do for you. I cannot go to the church. So really, this is our strong beliefs, living here as one. We have responsibility, and it's across faith.